While the paratroopers and glider infantrymen were taking on the Germans in the hedgerows, some 5,000 ships moved off from their assembly point, which was known as Piccadilly Circus. They headed for their respective beaches. The sea conditions had been so bad and visibility so poor that the Germans had failed to spot the vast fleet which was bearing down on them.
The German crews would have spent the night listening to distant bombardment and have heard reports of the arrival of paratroopers. Imagine the shock when they spotted the Allied Armada on the horizon.
Earl Norwood was a landing craft pilot off Omaha Beach.
The command was given by the captain, Blackburn, to away all boats and our landing barges. And as we proceeded into the rendezvous area, everything worked normal. And the sky has always stayed with me. You felt like you could see forever.
The assault on Omaha Beach was carried out by the US 1st and 29th Infantry Divisions, with the 2nd Ranger Battalion on the far right flank.
It was from landing craft like this that the US infantrymen landed on the beaches of Normandy.
The first wave was approaching the beach as we left the line of departure, with the second wave between. Artillery rounds were coming in. Several of the boats had struck mines, and this is when the picture began to clear that we were in one hell of a mess.
Imagine being hurled into 6 feet of freezing water with yards of deadly beach to cross and very little cover.
Intelligence had informed Allied commanders that there were only 600 poor quality German troops manning the defences along the 4-mile stretch of beach. They were wrong. In March, the crack 352nd Infantry Division had been moved up in support.
And when they lowered the gate and we cleared the craft, we come to these iron stars up there, and we immediately lay down behind it for cover. The machine guns were just getting everybody.
The promised naval and aerial bombardment, dubbed the greatest show on earth, had failed to dislodge the defenders from their well-prepared fortifications. The naval bombardment had been much shorter than planned, and the aircraft had dropped their bombs way behind the German positions.
It was from strong points such as this that the Germans poured deadly fire onto the Americans who were trying to land.
Most of the casualties on Omaha fell to this weapon, the MG-42. With a cyclic rate of fire in excess of 1,200 rounds per minute, it was one of the most feared weapons of World War II.
The swimming tanks, launched far too far out to sea, were not here to provide support for the first 2 waves, who were slaughtered. It was at this stage that Bradley considered calling the whole thing off.
You could look back and all you could see was bodies all over the water and all over the sand, and it was bloody. All the water was just red from blood from the troops.
Here, at Fox Sector, Omaha Beach, at 8 o'clock in the morning, the outcome of the battle hung in the balance. Most of the officers had either been killed or wounded, and the men were utterly leaderless. A man who was to change the fortunes of the day arrived in the nick of time. Colonel George Taylor. The men were huddled all along the sea wall, desperate to stay alive. George Taylor knew if he didn't persuade them to get on their feet and attack the Germans, the battle would be lost. He ran up and down this exposed beach without any fear for his personal safety, and was heard to shout the immortal battle cry. There are only two types of men who are going to stay on this beach today: the dead and those who are about to die. Let's get the hell out of here. The men, responding to this rallying cry, stood up, stormed across the open ground, and climbed the bluffs to win the day. Groups of soldiers from the 1st Infantry Division, under the command of immortal heroes like 2nd Lieutenant John Spaulding, captured German strongpoints like this. And they were then able to carve a path to the beleaguered soldiers of the 29th Infantry Division. This is the monument to the American 1st Infantry Division, who landed here on Omaha Beach on the morning of the 6th of June. They won immortal glory that day, but at a very high price.